The Vande Mataram debate is on. Now, a discussion which has been marked for 10 hours. That is on at this moment in the Parliament to commemorate 150 years of the national song. Prime Minister Narendra Modi opened the debate in the Lok Sabha, just praising the song written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. This was, in November 1875, and then quickly turning the focus on the Congress party, particularly former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. The Prime Minister targeted the Congress party for curtailing Vande Mataram to appease Muslims. He accused Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister, of having followed Muhammad Ali Jinnah in opposing Vande Mataram because it could irritate the Muslim voters. Now, very, very interestingly, Priyanka Gandhi, the leader of the Congress party, member of Parliament, hit out at the Prime Minister for selective fact-picking. She said that the Prime Minister distorted in the way that he represented the facts. She dismissed Prime Minister's claim and stated that Prime Minister had selectively quoted from the letter. She then, of course, read out the letter as well, but it has seen a fierce war of words between the Treasury benches and the opposition. But the big question, ladies and gentlemen, that we are asking here is, Vande Mataram is respected all across, but 10 hours on Vande Mataram, when the country is facing issues like pollution, like the crisis that we are seeing as far as Indigo Airlines is concerned, shouldn't they be the focus issues then? A debate for 10 hours on Vande Mataram. Let's listen in to what happened.
वंदे मातरम के प्रति मुस्लिम लीग की विरोध की राजनीति तेज होती जा रही थी। मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना ने लखनऊ से 15 अक्टूबर 1937 को वंदे मातरम के विरुद्ध का नारा बुलंद किया। फिर कांग्रेस के तत्कालीन अध्यक्ष जवाहरलाल नेहरू को अपना सिंहासन डोलता दिखा। बजाय कि नेहरू जी मुस्लिम लीग के आधारहीन बयानों को तगड़ा जवाब देते, करारा जवाब देते, मुस्लिम लीग के बयानों की निंदा करते, और वंदे मातरम के प्रति खुद की भी और कांग्रेस पार्टी की भी निष्ठा को प्रकट करते हैं। लेकिन उल्टा हुआ। वो ऐसा क्यों कर रहे वो तो पूछा ही नहीं, न जाना, लेकिन उन्होंने वंदे मातरम की ही पड़ताल शुरू कर दी।
नेहरू जी कलकत्ता जाते हैं और गुरुदेव जी से मिलते हैं, और उसके अगले दिन गुरुदेव जी एक चिट्ठी लिखते हैं जिसमें वो लिखते हैं, अंग्रेजी में चिट्ठी है, उसका एक अंश मैं आपको हिंदी में बता देती हूं, जिसमें गुरुदेव जी कहते हैं कि जो दो अंतरे हमेशा गाए जाते थे उनका महत्व इतना गहरा था कि उस हिस्से को कविता के शेष हिस्से तथा पुस्तक के उन अंशों से अलग करने में उन्हें कोई कठिनाई नहीं थी। उन्होंने ये कहा कि स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में हमेशा से वही दो अंतरे ही गाए जाते थे और उनको गाते हुए कुर्बानी देने वाले सैकड़ों शहीदों के सम्मान के लिए उन्हें ऐसे ही गाना उचित रहेगा। उन्होंने यह भी कहा कि बाद में जोड़े गए अंतरों का सांप्रदायिक मायना निकाला जा सकता है और उस समय के माहौल में उनका इस्तेमाल अनुचित होगा।
Are we going back too much into, trying to correct the history? Whatever has happened has happened. What about today is the big question. Let me very quickly go across to Asutosh, senior journalist, who is joining us, columnist. We are also being joined by Sajjan Kumar, political analyst, and we'll go across to my colleague Vasudha in just a short while from now. What I want to understand, and we'll keep dipping into the Parliament because there are still few speakers, those who are going to speak. Mr. Owaisi is expected to speak in a short while from now. Asutosh, I want to begin this discussion with you. Prime Minister spoke, and we've seen Prime Minister's style one after another. He opened the debate, hit out sharply at the Congress party, began from Prime Minister Nehru, and then said that the Congress always has been, once again taking it in the direction of the appeasement politics of the Congress party. Priyanka Gandhi responded to it. I first want to understand from you your first impressions of what the Prime Minister said, and of course the response which came from the Congress party.
Ankit, before answering your question, it will be interesting if somebody has taken the camera and asked all the member of parliaments if they could recite Vande Mataram, all the 2 stanzas. I would be really we are creating so much of hangama about Vande Mataram, but how many of them can really recite? And forget about reciting, how many of them can even really translate and understand what this whole song is all about? None, probably none. Even the top cabinet ministers, they would not be able to recite this. I'm very confident very confident about it. But I can recite it. If you want it, I can recite it and I can explain what this is all about. But let's not get into that. The fact of the matter is, it's easy to target Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, but this is a selective history. Let me ask a simple question. How many RSS guys had gone to gallows singing Vande Mataram? How many RSS guys had gone to jail singing Vande Mataram? What was the RSS doing when in 1937, when the 2 stanzas were accepted by a committee advised by Gurudev Tagore and the CWC which has passed this? Mahatma Gandhi was one of them. Sardar Patel was one of them. Is RSS trying to say that the Mahatma Gandhi did not understand what the Vande Mataram is? Is RSS trying to say that Rajnath Singh, the Narendra Modi wants to say that Sardar Patel did not understand? Are they trying to say that Subhas Bose have no idea about what they were doing? It's an insult because this was passed by a committee and which was advised by none else by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore.
But Asutosh, by that logic, we are then saying that whatever happened in past is not open to any scrutiny, any academic scrutiny. Can you hear me now? Is it better? Can you hear me now, Asutosh?
Hello.
All right. What we'll do, Asutosh, we'll try and fix that. We'll try and fix that issue if there is, on his audio. We'll just check that. And go back to Asutosh in a short while from now. But Sajjan Kumar, let me bring you in at this moment. Priyanka Gandhi said that the Prime Minister is distorting facts. He's presenting selective facts. Are both sides accused of selectively using this? And the question that people are asking today, why a debate on Vande Mataram when we already see precious time of the Parliament being wasted on inane protest and issues?
Ankit, from your end, the voice is missing in between.
Okay, we'll just fix that, Sajjan. I'll just come back to you.
Now it's fine.
Okay, so I want to ask you, and before that, Asutosh, can you hear me now? Is it better? All right.
Audible.
Okay, so we'll fix that audio line with Asutosh. I apologize for this mix-up with our viewers, but Sajjan, if you can hear me, my question was that, the Congress has accused the Prime Minister of selectively quoting facts, of overlooking the entire letter of the facts and trying to create an unnecessary debate in the Parliament when important issues should be discussed. The time of the Parliament is being used to discuss Vande Mataram when there are so many pressing issues to discuss around.
No, Ankit, there are 2 aspects. One, the occasion to discuss. If it's 150th anniversary of the national song, it's a apt occasion, and for posterity, it should be discussed because this is important. And 2, the question regarding selectivity. Yes, selectivity is the hallmark of any political debate, and from BJP's vantage point, bringing out the context that two stanzas of the national song were removed because of the objections by Muslim League and the sensibilities of the Muslims regarding the mentions of Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, etc. So that is a valid point. But the question here is, one, how do we conduct a historical debate? The occasion is fine. There is no question about that. Even if it's selective, right? The opposition parties can always correct it by bringing the other aspect. But my question here is that on the question of Vande Mataram, we do understand that given the context of 1937, perhaps it was a sensible decision because besides Nehru, there were other top leadership, including Rabindranath Tagore, who were the advisor. So therefore, in that context, it seemed to be a sensible option to stitch the Hindu-Muslim unity. Fine. But what happened, if we see today, the two stanzas that were retained and AICC paper are there in Teen Murti library, which says that the rest of the two stanzas should be sung not only in the Congress but by every countryman thenceforward. Now today we have seen since NDA 1 era, there have been objections about singing even those two stanzas. There has been fatwas in 2004, if you remember, in Agra that happened, that there were fatwa given against the Muslims who sang that they are no more Muslims and their marriages are annulled. And time and again that is there. So the question here is that one sectarianism is being competed by the other, but we need to understand that if 1937 decision to annul two stanzas were as per the sensitivity of the time, after partition, what prevents to have a unanimity around the remaining two stanzas, which doesn't mention any specific Hindu god, etc.
Isn't that at least a valid question that, there are still those who oppose the singing of this? And what I was asking you before we lost that audio when you were speaking, the fact remains that, the Congress is accusing Prime Minister of selectively quoting the facts. But there is a, studied silence of the Congress party when we hear all these news about, all right, I think Asutosh, can you hear me? Okay, I apologize to my viewers. We'll try and fix that once again and go back to Asutosh. But Sajjan, let me bring you in again on this while we fix that. While you are saying the occasion could be apt, but I'm talking in the context of today. Whatever happened in history can't be made right in the present, right? Whatever has happened has happened. You can talk about it right or wrong. Is this also a politicization of this entire issue, the prominence being given to this entire issue, keeping the West Bengal election in mind?
Perhaps yes, because any historical and policy and any deliberative aspect has a political angle. So certainly, Bengal election is there and BJP could be aiming to have certain swing in its favor. But we should remember that it is also incidental that right now when Bengal election is just nearby in a couple of months, this happened to be the 150th anniversary of national song. So BJP is just lucky, right? Number one. Number two, what we are when we talk about the debate around Vande Mataram, the question is that to what, the partition, I'll call that partition of Vande Mataram happened 10 years before the partition of India, 1937. And that time you wanted to prevent that partition, you wanted to stitch the sensibility, national unity and sensibilities. Now that is past, that is gone. Post 1947, this is a twist with destiny wherein you need to celebrate, the national song which is in the annals of India's independence and which
Who's stopping anybody from celebrating that by bringing it on to this occasion and of course making a debate out of it? We are saying that this is an important issue, possibly more important than pollution. It is more important at this moment to speak about this and correct the rights or wrongs, whatever somebody's beliefs are, when it comes to the common people suffering as far as indigo is concerned or many other issues. So the question is, should this be the focus of the parliament? 10 hours of parliament being in fact used for this discussion, while we see many important issues not being even getting 1 minute as far as the parliament is concerned, Sajjan.
No, Ankit, why should we see that in binary, either an or framework, right? Why? Because 150th, because history, culture, and the mundane issues, which is really in a critical stage, they all are important. We cannot say that we should, just by focusing on Vande Mataram, the critical issues like pollution and lots many other health crises should be ignored.
Because aren't the parliamentarians elected to in fact make laws and make lives better for the people? They should be discussing about things that really matter to the people. Where do you see on the streets a discussion about Vande Mataram, Sajjan? Be honest and tell me that.
I'm telling you, because this is the crisis of the entire political class. Which election do you see, forget about parliamentary debate, that your mental health, climate crisis, something which is very crucial to the new generation, which you call Gen Z, they are united around these issues. India is yet to have a green party. So these are the structural problem. These are the narratives which do not become the mobilizational plank by any party. Right.
So you agree that these other issues like Vande Mataram are being possibly used to in fact set an agenda, a narrative?
Yes, to that extent, you are perfectly right, but that is across the political. It suits BJP, it suits opposition, because then you can bring selective aspects and bring it to the center stage. But unfortunately, India is yet to have the issues like health, pollution, climate as the political and policy issue, which can be used to mobilize the middle class, the new generation. You find these are the issues which are galvanizing the people outside political realm, but this is yet to have any sort of imagination into the political landscape of India. But
Sajjan,
150th occasion is an apt occasion. We should not dismiss it as something which is a waste of time. This is important.
It's
we can
the
have
prerogative of the parliament of what they want to discuss. The fact is, for a common person like me and for a lot of people, possible, some other, they could have given it a special session beyond the working hours of this current session when there are pressing issues that people are hoping that the parliamentarians would be able to keep the spotlight on. Most of the time is either on inane, in fact, protests, which doesn't let the house function, or of course, then these emotive issues that have some political some political resonance that they feel in the upcoming elections. But Sajjan, we leave it there. Thank you so much for your candid views on this. I apologize to our viewers. There was some problem as far as Asutosh's audio is concerned. We could have, in fact, gone back to him for more. But let me very quickly go across to Himanshu, my colleague who is joining me at this moment. He's covering this from the Parliament. Himanshu, 10 hours, the discussion is still on. A fierce debate from either side, sticking to their, in fact, agenda. Who are the speakers who are about to speak, and what are we expecting at the end of the debate?
Well, this is a general discussion, Ankit. So, government is not bound to reply to the debate, because we have seen from Priyanka Gandhi to Mahua Moitra to many other senior, Akhilesh Yadav, senior opposition leaders, they have raised several questions on the government's intent, on the questions, the allegations that have been leveled by Prime Minister Modi. But of course, government is not required to respond to these allegations. And that is why this is considered just a general discussion, a 10-hour discussion. Government's contention, Ankit, is that this debate was necessary to celebrate what the government calls the ideals of freedom struggle, because the national song Vande Mataram actually played a very crucial role in galvanizing the independent freedom fighters, and that is why 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram needs to be celebrated. If you just look at the Prime Minister's speech, he said that on the 50th anniversary of this song, India was still not a free country. When it completed 100 years, there was emergency imposed in the country. And remember, when Prime Minister was Chief Minister of Gujarat in 2010, he had launched a Vande Mataram Yatra, and he had said that he was very disappointed that the central government at that time did not hold national level celebrations. So this is something that Prime Minister has been personally pushing for many years, and finally the government, of course we know for 2 days the government did not function because opposition was insisting for a discussion on electoral reforms, but government insisted that the first debate should be on Vande Mataram. Remember, on 7th November, a national campaign was also launched, a national movement to celebrate 150 years. So I think this is part of government's agenda to celebrate what it calls the ideals of freedom struggle. But opposition has raised many questions on the claims that have been made by Prime Minister Modi.
So largely it has become a quid pro quo kind of a debate. If you let Vande Mataram happen, only then we will allow the SIR debate, and that's what is playing out in the Parliament today. Some more, in fact, important speakers are going to present their views on this. We'll keep cutting back to the Parliament once that happens.